Good Morning Miramar, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m., right here, right now.
Good morning, Miramar, and happy Halloween. Today is Tuesday, October 31st. I am joined by my very special co-host. This is Formation Beyonce, for those of you who haven't recognized her. Better known as, or also known as, Alexis Fox, Marketing Coordinator with the City of Miramar's Office of Marketing and Public Relations. We are so excited to be with you today and sharing a really fun Halloween special that we have, talking about what's happening in Miramar this Halloween and some really important Halloween safety tips for everyone out there who's going to be participating in the festivities today and this evening. Hello, Formation Beyonce.
Hi, how are you? Hello, world. Hello to my beautiful children, Blue Ivy and Sir and Rumi, and to my behaved husband, Jay-Z. Welcome. But we do have some great things to talk about today. We're going to go over some safety tips for all of you who are going to be venturing out for Halloween, and also for those of you who are going to be staying at home, some decorating safety tips as well. And we're going to talk about tips for adults who are going to be going out or maybe going to a party. So we just want everybody to have a very safe and enjoyable Halloween.
Yes, very important. We want everyone in Miramar to stay safe. But before we get into that, we want to remind everyone that tonight, from 6 to 10 p.m. at River Run Park, Commissioner Yvette Colburn is hosting Halloween at River Run Park. So if you're interested in taking the children out to a safe, inclusive activity where you know the candy's safe, there's going to be some fun rides out there, some inflatables, live entertainment, and there's also going to be some food available for purchase. You can definitely check this event out. It's from 6 to 10 p.m. Everyone is encouraged to come in costume because it is Halloween and it'll be a lot of fun. So that is at River Run Park today from 6 to 10 p.m. and we hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Formation Beyonce, we gathered some of the best safety tips, right, and we want to share them with you because we want everyone to have a happy and safe Halloween. Sometimes this holiday can get a little crazy. There's just a lot of things happening out there, and you know, safety is the number one priority.
Absolutely.
Especially for our community.
Absolutely. Safety is super important. You know, we want to make sure that wherever Blue Ivy goes, she's safe. And so we have gathered some tips for general safety from the National Safety Council. That's nsc.org if you'd like to go online and view these tips for yourself. So some of those tips include making sure that someone you know and trust knows where you're located at all times. Even if you're trick-or-treating in your neighborhood or at a public place, it's always good to have somebody who's able to locate you, you know, a time that you're expected to go home, a time that you're expected to arrive at a venue. That way everybody can stay in contact, and it's just another way to keep everyone safe.
And one way you can do that, I know that there are like apps for smartphones where you can share your location with loved ones. So that's kind of an easy way. You don't really have to think about it. You don't have to be texting the whole night, hey, I'm here now, I went to this party, I'm at this house.
Right.
You know, you can just share your location for that night and they know where you are, and you know, God forbid something happens, they can alert the authorities if need be. But that's just kind of an easy way to do that.
I think the key is to make sure you're sharing it with people you trust, not with strangers, not with somebody who may have ill intent or maybe looking for you. You know, fans in my case don't need my location, but
they don't.
You know, those types of things are really important to keep in mind. And also, like Danielle mentioned, if you are going to be using your phone for apps and different channels of communication, make sure your phone is charged.
Yes, we
Super
know
important.
Everyone loves social media, especially on Halloween. You want to take pictures of the kids, take pictures of your costume. Make sure your phone is charged. Bring a backup battery.
Yes, or a portable charger. If you're driving somewhere and you have a car charger, please make sure that your phone is plugged in at all times. We want everybody to have a longevity throughout the evening, and a big part of doing that is making sure that your devices are properly charged. What else do we have going on?
Carry your ID. I personally can't stress this enough. It's something that my parents kind of always instilled in me growing up. You should always have a form of identification on you. And I know with Halloween, it might be hard with your costume, and you don't want to carry like a bag or your wallet if you're a man, but it's important to have your ID because like we said, you don't know what kind of situation you might be in where you're going to need some identification, or if something happens to you, you want, the authorities to be able to locate you and have your ID so they can reach out to your emergency contacts. So whatever costume you have, make sure that you make some adjustments so that you can have your ID on your person. I think that's important.
Right. Definitely here in the city of Miramar, we have the commissioner's event going on, and just past weekend we had our Hallows Eve at Town Center Plaza. That's a very packed event. There's a lot of foot traffic, but also a lot of driving traffic as well. That this holiday is very big for driving to different destinations, haunted houses, parties. So just please be extra attentive as you're driving, because just as you're trying to get to your location, people are also trying to cross streets. People are going to different festivals, things like that. So just be very mindful of pedestrian traffic when you're driving. Children, sometimes different costumes are poorly lit, or the area that you're in is poorly lit.
Or people are in dark costumes, so you might not be able to see them. So just pay attention. Definitely no texting and driving on Halloween.
No.
It's not a good idea ever, but I think on Halloween it's important to be extra alert in the car.
Right, and pedestrians, do the same courtesy to the drivers. Don't text and walk with your head down when you're crossing a street. Wait for the crosswalk. Wait for whatever signal there is that it's safe for you to cross before crossing. And these are all things that sometimes skip our minds just in the high energy and high, expectation of the holiday, to just forget about the basics.
Yes.
And the basic courtesies and safety practices. So we're grateful that the National Safety Council has these different tips available to us and to our residents here in the city.
Yes, you should also make sure your costumes, if you're wearing a wig, any kind of accessories, those are fire resistant. It's just a safety tip that you should keep in mind with any clothing, but especially on Halloween, because there's usually candles being lit. You don't know if you're going to go to a house and there's going to be a pumpkin and it's not a battery operated candle, which we're going to get into decorations in a few minutes. So you just want to make sure that your clothing is resistant to fire, because we don't want any accidents.
Absolutely. Another really important tip that I think people forget about: if you are not trick-or-treating or going to an event with people that are aware of any food allergies you may have, please be sure to mention them. Please be mindful of others' food allergies if you are aware. If you're at a party and you're serving certain things, and definitely with candy and things like that. Kids, if you're not sure what the ingredients are in an item, wait until you get home.
Yes, listen to your parents.
To open those items.
Let them decide what candy you can have once they've been able to go through everything. I think it's especially important. Nut allergies can be really scary. So if you have one and you need to carry some kind of emergency EpiPen or something like that, make sure that's on you. If you're in a costume, make sure someone's with you who you trust knows, hey, look, I'm going to have it here in this part of my costume, just in case, because things can get kind of messy, and especially with different treats.
Right. And in the same vein, parents, if you are not taking your kids, if you're letting them go with their friends or with a neighbor or just with another chaperone, have a little card that says what they're allergic to. If there's candies you already know that they cannot have, then go ahead and write a little note for them to have on them. I find that that's always super helpful. Just the more you know, the better you can communicate with people. Everybody can stay safe and have a really good time.
Yes, and I always say safety first. So even if it interferes with your costume, it's better to be safe than sorry, as cliche as that might sound.
Absolutely. So those were some of just like the general tips. Again, the National Safety Council, nsc.org. They do have those tips available on their website, as well as some other tips if you would need for general safety. That's always a great resource to have, especially around this time of year.
Yes. So decoration safety, we want to definitely talk about that, because today is Halloween, so people are really probably already decorated, but I think
Right.
that everything kind of comes alive. The haunted houses come alive tonight. So we want to just talk a little bit about decoration safety. ABC News put out a great article about being smart with your decorations and where you place them. So one really good tip is not overloading electrical outlets, especially with your indoor decor. So if you're having a party inside the house, make sure that these decorations are safely distributed among your electrical outlets, especially the older ones. You don't want to cause any kind of electric surge or shock of any sort, especially when it comes to older decorations. If you have something that's maybe been in the family for years, you don't want to decide, okay, I'm going to plug 10 of them into my power strip into one outlet. It's probably not a good idea.
And, you know, there are other holidays that use lighting and electrical decorations heavily as well. But the thing with this holiday is like the size of the equipment that you use if you're doing a fog machine or lighting. You know, there's definitely, it takes more power to work those things. So try not to have all of those on the same outlet as if possible. Get an outlet strip. That way it's not all coming from that same source. Those are ways that you can prevent
but
accidents.
Be careful to not overload the strip as well, because we don't want to cause any surge. We also want to talk about candles. I know that regular wax candles give that like extra spooky vibe, but you can find battery operated candles with like the melting wax illusion that are way safer. They're battery operated, so you don't have to worry about any electrical power issues, and they look just the same inside of your pumpkin as a regular candle would, and you can buy the ones that flicker,
which I always thought those were better anyway. You don't burn yourself handling them. You don't have to clean up wax. You can reuse them, whereas sometimes candles, once they burn out, that's pretty much it. So it's a little more price effective as well to go ahead and look into getting those battery operated candles. You can also nowadays buy pumpkins with the candle already in it. That aren't plug up. You can just put the battery in and still have that same spooky effect that you want for your haunted house or for your front yard. Also with the battery operated candles, make sure you have the proper batteries for those. Make sure that everything is well lit. If you are using them as a source of lighting for the outside, that way nobody trips over anything. Make sure your decorations are placed in a way where people can see them and navigate or don't have to navigate around them, especially if you're expecting trick-or-treaters.
Yes, and if you decide that you want to use real candles because you're a purist and you just want those candles, make sure you have a fire extinguisher, multi-purpose, that it's ready, that you know how to use it, the people in your house know how to use it. You know, if there's an emergency, that you can attack it quickly, and then of course, you know, alert your local authorities, but that's important also.
Also, if you're doing any kind of like low lighting or with candles, electric or otherwise, please be sure that you keep those out of reach of small children, small pets. Make sure that those things are in an area where they can't really be tampered with or tipped over, because that could also cause some mayhem at your Halloween party. And you know, we want to scare people, but not like that.
Yes. And definitely, you know, just also make sure your driveways, walkways are clear. The paths, you know, as scary as you might want to make it, if you have a haunted house theme, make sure that it's at least lit so people can see where they're going. You don't want any accidents where someone's tripping or falling, especially with these costumes nowadays that are really long and like maybe some weird shoes like high heels and things like that. Just be careful. I think that's just so important. So let's get into children's safety.
Absolutely. So for the children's safety, we found these tips from the American Academy of Pediatrics, I'm sorry. And so these are some tips that are specific to parents, ways to keep their kids safe during this holiday. We all know the kids love trick-or-treating, they love the candy, they love the costume, but we love them and want them to be safe.
Yes, and you know, unfortunately, there's just people out there with ill intent, unfortunately. So parents and, you know, guardians really need to be vigilant in caring for children. So these tips will really help them out. So to help ensure that adults and children do have a safe
Halloween this holiday. The American Academy of Pediatrics has compiled this list of safety tips, including some do's and don'ts for trick-or-treating and costumes. So a parent or responsible adult should always accompany young children on the neighborhood rounds.
Yes, don't let them go alone. Don't let them convince you that they're old enough and that they're going to go with their friends.
Absolutely.
Or we're going to go with someone's older sibling, because, it's just, like we said, better to be safe than sorry.
Right. And even in gated communities, which we have a lot of in Miramar, where like you may know your neighbors, you guys know the area pretty well. You just never really know, so still just be vigilant about having a guardian or a person that you trust, if not yourself, along with your kids, if they are trick-or-treating around the neighborhood.
And if you have some older children who kind of want to go out and with their friends, talk to them about their route, talk to them about the houses that they're going to go to, plan a specific time for them to come home to meet you or to call you. Utilize the cell phones. I think if you're going to allow your older child to go out alone, definitely make sure that they have their cell phone on them. They have their ID on them, like we discussed earlier.
Right.
And they also have that tracking, so you can see where they are at all times.
Absolutely. And now there are hubs for trick-or-treating. So even if, your older kids don't want to go in the neighborhood, there are places like Miramar Town Center, which we did on Saturday, that allowed you to still trick-or-treat and get the full experience of that with different vendors handing out candy, but it's all in one safe space.
Right, or the event tonight at River Run Park. It's another great option. If you want to make sure that the candy is safe, you want to make sure that your kids have a good time, but it's in a contained area, this is a good event to take advantage of.
Right. Remind your kids, and for the safety of the adults that they're with, to only go to houses that are well lit. The porch light is on. There's clear indication that they're celebrating the holiday.
Yes.
And that they are welcoming trick-or-treaters as well. So if the house isn't decorated, even if their porch light is on, one, you wouldn't want to disturb residents, and two, you just don't know if they're even receptive to trick-or-treaters or anything like that. So
right. And never ever enter a home or a car for candy. No, it's not a good idea. We don't recommend it. It kind of goes without saying, but it's important to send out these reminders,
Yes.
especially with kids. If you send them out alone, you just want to remind them, don't enter anyone's home, don't enter anyone's car, because it's probably a sign that they're trying to take advantage of the holiday, and we definitely don't want any emergencies in that regard.
Right. Check all of the candy before eating it, and have your mom or dad, if you're there with the kids, get to a safe space and go through the bag with your kid, even in some cases so they don't get tummy aches, maybe portion off what they have for the night. Just ways to stay safe with the different types of candy that's out there. We all love candy.
Yes.
I look forward to, a Reese's or 50 every Halloween.
Yes.
And so, it's really important though with the kids to just make sure that they're not eating anything that they shouldn't be eating, or that the candy is not expired, or that they don't have any allergies to the different things.
And to that note, another good tip is don't let your children eat the candy during the walk. I remember just being younger and getting a candy that I liked at someone's house and be like, oh, I'm going to eat this while we go to the next house. Something that I've heard that's I think a really good idea is parents, if you're accompanying your children trick-or-treating and they're going to want to have some candy while you're on a walk, bring your own candy. Don't let them eat from the candy that they're getting. Bring the candy they like, and if they want to have a treat while they're walking, here, I bought this, I know this is safe, you can have this.
I like that idea. I think that's a really great tip. Another really great tip is, if kids get just as invested into the costumes as myself and other adults do, but their skin is a little more sensitive than ours, and certain makeups may not have a safe effect on them. So please, when your kids, no matter how tired they are after trick-or-treating, make sure to remove all of the makeup to prevent any skin and eye irritation. If your child sweats or they tear, that makeup can get into their eyes, and it's really irritating situation. So just make sure that they get it all off so they don't have any
Yes.
skin irritation.
And just make sure you're using quality makeup that's safe for children. It might cost a little bit more, but we want to make sure that we are keeping our children safe. And you can use kind of an oil-based remover to just clean everything off at the end of the night before shower time, and make sure that the kids are ready for school in the morning also.
Yes, because
Halloween's on a weeknight.
Tomorrow there's school. So
yes.
definitely set up a time ramification, a curfew.
Yes.
For the big kids, and also just keep in mind of the time with your little ones as well. So we are going to get into our adult tips after this commercial break.
Yes. When we return, stay tuned.
It's the year of entertainment in Miramar, as we reach for the stars to make Miramar the destination of choice for sports, theater, arts, and recreation. For a sports complex that has it all, the winner is Miramar's own Anson Sports Complex. 24 acres of action, a 400-meter Olympic qualifying track, and a stadium that seats over 5,000 spectators. It's a complete sports complex that has it all, and has played a leading role in making Miramar the sports center of the region. Next, for an exquisite landmark rich in green space for picnics, music under the stars, and even farmers markets, family gatherings, and outdoor festivals, the winner is Shirley Branca Memorial Park. It's a place to celebrate cultural heritage, or even an end-of-summer block party. Shirley Branca Park is in Miramar's historic Eastern Corridor, which makes it a local celebrity and will see even more growth in the years to come. Ready for lights, cameras, action? When you're talking about entertainment, the winner is the Miramar Cultural Center, playing a starring role in Miramar and the whole South Florida area. It is located in the middle of Miramar's vibrant town center and is a place for music, theater, dance, and celebration. It draws audiences from all over to this fabulous state-of-the-art facility. They also come because of its regal appeal. Full-service 300-capacity banquet hall, an Anson Art Gallery and Exhibit Hall. With safe, affordable youth arts programs, the Miramar Cultural Center fosters and prepares tomorrow's rising stars. The Botanical Garden, adjacent to the Cultural Center, is right on a beautiful lake, with an incredible illuminated reflecting wall. Here, art mixes with nature for an award-winning experience. And the best of the best for world-class entertainment and fun, no surprise here, it's Miramar Regional Park, the region's premier destination, perfect for sports of all sorts. It wins a supporting role with baseball, football, and 172 acres of action. Did we say swimming? You will find an amazing heated ADA-compliant aquatic complex and pavilion that supports Miramar's outdoor lifestyle. And making its debut, a star in its own right, is the new Miramar Amphitheater at Regional Park. Here, under a massive canopy, 5,000 people can enjoy the Miramar Amp and all kinds of entertainment. 3,000 on removable seats, while another 2,000 can enjoy picnicking on the grassy apron and promenade area. What a great winning addition to the entertainment cast of Miramar. Concerts of all kinds, nationally renowned performers will find a great audience here, and a great place to showcase. It's easy to get to from Miami to Palm Beach, and draws from over 6.7 million people that will love coming here. It wins the latest and greatest award and will be a winner for the years to come, the Miramar Amphitheater at Regional Park. So you see, with 41 community and neighborhood parks, 2 aquatic centers and entertainment venues, Miramar shines bright. It's a great place for cultural arts, sports, entertainment, and fun to support a year-round lifestyle. And in this year of entertainment, it's easy to see that the star for sports, theater, arts, and recreation is all right here in Miramar.
And we are back like Khaleesi's dragons from the dead. Here to give you some more great adult safety tips.
Yes, fun Game of Thrones reference for you fans out there. So We talked a little bit about curfews since Halloween's on a school night this year, but we know that the adult parties usually last till the wee hours of the morning because we are grown and can decide that we're either going to take the day off the next day or we're going to, I don't know, just be sleepy at work or something.
We would never do that here, but
no.
We know that it happens.
Yes. So we want to advise those adults who are going to celebrate in an adult fashion for Halloween of a lot of other safety tips, because I think as adults we kind of think that we're invincible and can maybe, Halloween, the kids need to worry about safety. I don't. I think that adults especially need to worry about safety because it's a day that people kind of let their guard down. They want to experiment, put on an alter ego, and you just want to be careful. So one tip is choosing your costume wisely. Formation Beyonce is a lovely example of something that you can do that's fun and safe. You can wear flats. You don't have to wear high heels. You can be covered, and you can make accommodations for those things we recommended, like cell phones, identification.
My cell phone is actually under my hat right now.
She's kidding, I think. Is she? We'll find out.
No, but definitely keep yourself where it's not too tight of a clothing or it's not too high of a heel where you're uncomfortable moving around, just in case you need to evacuate an area or get out of a situation. You want to be able to move briskly and quickly. And for the men as well, make sure that if you're doing a mask or a full body suit, that you can still see, that you can still breathe appropriately out of those costumes. If you're wearing a wig, make sure that it doesn't impair your vision. Those are really important things. I know we all want to amp it up and make it on the shade room with our costumes, but please be safe in what you're choosing to wear. It's truly important.
I also thought about something random for ladies, eyelashes too.
Yes.
I think I've always see like fun lashes for Halloween that are like extra long and crazy, and contacts.
Yes.
Be careful with those contacts that aren't prescription grade, that change your eye color or they make your eyes like all black or something. You want to use medical grade contacts, especially if you're putting them in your eye. You only get one pair, and we want to make sure that everyone can see.
Absolutely.
On November 1st.
Absolutely. So if you are using anything other than a prescription, make sure that you're maintaining them properly, keeping them in solution. Do not sleep in them.
Don't reuse them after Halloween.
Do not reuse them after Halloween. Try to avoid rubbing your eye. If you get dry eye, have maybe some eye drop on you or something like that to keep your eyes lubricated. But yes, be very, very careful with those kinds of products because, they're made just for costume wear, not long-term wear. So please be safe with that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Also, obey the law. Follow all rules and regulations. I know that sometimes these holidays can be some where people kind of lose their inhibitions and just want to go out and have fun. Our lovely Miramar Police Department is very vigilant, and they will be out in the community this year, as they are every year, cracking down and enforcing appropriate codes. So we're just encouraging everyone to have fun, but safe, legal fun.
Yes. And respect other people's residents. If you are going to a house party, respect the house rules, respect the
noise regulations at a certain
of the
time.
Neighborhood. We know that there are parts of the city of Miramar that do have noise ordinances, so please, as a host, be mindful of that, and then as a patron of a party, also be mindful. Another big thing, we're going to go ahead and mention it, is please drink responsibly while you are out. Please do not drink and drive this evening or any other evening. Please set a designated driver, call in Lyft, call in Uber, call a friend if you have been drinking and plan to get from point A to point B. And the reason being, other than your safety, is that just because you may not feel like you're impaired in any way, there may be other drivers on the road who did not take the same responsibility that you did and are driving under the influence, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So we are really advocating for you to please make sure that you have a plan for your drinking. If you're going to be drinking, make sure you're with a designated driver or you have your phone or some way to get home other than you getting behind the wheel of a car.
Yes.
Also in that same vein, please do not drink anything that you are not familiar with or that you yourself did not make.
Spooky punch with the fog coming out of it, dry ice.
Absolutely.
You don't know what's in it, especially if you're in a home that you don't know the person.
Right.
You know, get sealed beverages or beverages that you saw being made. You just want to be safe.
Yes, absolutely.
Extra alert and extra vigilant.
Absolutely. And know your limits. Binge drinking is not acceptable. It is dangerous and can lead to health complications and sometimes death. So please do not drink over your limit, even if you do have a designated driver. Just you want to keep your vessel, you know, as clear as possible, and we want everybody to be safe in the days after Halloween as well.
Yes. Also use the buddy system.
Yes.
Formation Beyonce does not go anywhere without Jay-Z.
No.
Anywhere. Jay-Z is her partner in crime, and he needs to be at all of her Halloween parties this year.
Definitely.
So, you know, and we're making light, but we want everyone to know the buddy system is key. Take a buddy with you.
Right.
Go in a pair, a trusted good friend. And this is to another point of making sure you know your limits and you don't go crazy with the alcohol, because, you know, you and your friend should be there to take care of each other.
Right.
Beyonce and Jay-Z always take care of each other.
Right. Or
so,
Beyonce and Destiny's Child.
Yes.
One or the other. And also with that, just trust your instincts. You know when you've had enough. You know when something isn't right. Please trust your gut and make sure that if something is uncomfortable for you, that you just remove yourself from that situation.
Yes, trust your instincts.
Absolutely.
If you don't feel safe, remove yourself. Keep your charged phone with you.
Absolutely.
Call your emergency contact. Have someone who's not with you at the party, like we talked about earlier, who can come get you or alert somebody of your location quickly if you don't feel safe. Those are just, you know, some of our main tips.
Or if you see a friend in an uncomfortable situation, use your instinct there as well to kind of remove them from that. And I think that those are going to wrap up our tips.
And, you know, just to mention again, we do have the family inclusive event happening tonight at River Run Park from 6 to 10 p.m. With Commissioner Yvette Colburn. So if you're looking for some fun, safe Halloween activities, please be sure to check us out at River Run Park tonight from 6 to 10. Wishing all of you a happy and safe Halloween and enjoy. We look forward to seeing all of you again right here on Good Morning Miramar this Thursday at 10 a.m. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.